I want you to tell me the very first things that you see, or the very first impressions that you have as you begin to understand where you are and what is happening around you. What do you see or notice as you take a look around this space that you're in?
Stars. I see a galaxy.
Yeah.
I can see it spinning. There's lights everywhere.
Yeah. What does it feel like to be out there amongst the stars?
Ecstasy.
Does it feel like freedom and peace?
Yes. Freedom. I can't believe how much light there is.
Yeah. What is it that you are right now? Do you have a physical body?
No. I'm light too.
Mm. What is it that you do as light, as energy?
I watch.
What is it that you're watching?
The universe expanding, growing.
What a beautiful job to just observe. Do you enjoy watching and observing?
Yes.
Mm.
It's endless.
Yeah,
Bliss.
right. Where is it that you'll go when you're done observing?
I don't know. Earth is calling.
Yeah. What is she saying to you as she calls?
Come. Come. Help.
Yeah. How is it that you, a light or energy being, how is it that you can help Earth?
Just bring the light.
Yeah.
Hold the light. Add your light.
Yeah. And what you decided, that's what you decided to do then.
Yes.
Did it take very much convincing, or were you eager to come and help?
We didn't hear what you said. What?
Did it take very much convincing for you to come, or were you eager to help?
Oh, such a pull. I feel pulled.
Yeah.
I'm so happy here, but the need is great.
Yeah. Yeah. You referred to yourself a moment ago as we. Who is it that I'm speaking with right now?
My friends are here with me.
Yeah. Tell me more about your friends. I'd love to hear about your friends. Tell me about them.
All lights. Just amorphous lights flowing freely through space.
Yeah.
Like a nebula.
Right.
Light and color. So many points of light here.
Yeah. Did your light friends, did they also incarnate with you on Earth?
No,
Mm.
no.
They stayed behind then. They stayed in their lifetime and their existence as light and as energy.
They have their own callings.
Oh,
That's why I didn't want to go.
yeah.
Can't we stay here? But I feel the pull. I want to help.
Yeah. Is this lifetime as Jan? Is this your first lifetime on Earth?
No,
You've been here before.
I've been here before.
Yeah. Tell me about some of those lives that you've had on Earth before this one.
I'm looking,
Yeah.
looking. There's the one. There's the one where I let her down. My mother in this life,
Oh,
in that life. She
did you,
blamed me.
yeah, did you make a mistake in that lifetime? What happened?
Oh, the same thing that happened in the beginning of this life. I sought to escape.
Hmm.
It's so hard here.
Yeah,
Even the air is hard sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
I sought to escape.
And how did that impact your mom, the soul that is your mother in that other lifetime? What happened?
She was my wife,
Oh,
the mother of our children.
oh,
I let them all down.
yeah,
I drank, and we were all so hungry.
yeah,
a small wooden cottage.
Mm-hmm.
I saw. I don't need to repeat this.
Okay.
I've done this already.
Yeah.
I'll go farther back.
Sure. Go to exactly wherever you need to go. That's why we're here today.
Oh, I'm on the ocean.
Yeah.
A ship.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect this.
Are you a sailor? A captain?
I'm trying to see it.
Ah,
Hmm. The conscious mind keeps trying to interject.
yeah. Why don't we take a minute and just enjoy being in the void, the ether, and that nothingness, just relaxing. Deep breaths in and out. Breathing in allowance, flow, peace. Breathing out, limiting beliefs and worries. Just letting go. Allowing that divine energy to flow through your beingness. Imagine yourself floating gently back down into that lifetime, the one on the ocean, just drifting and floating gently. You can see it coming into view, understanding what it is that this lifetime is all about as you float and drift gently back down towards this lifetime on the ocean. Do you see this lifetime coming back into view yet?
I can't see it.
Hmm, that's okay. Why don't we give it just a minute? Allow your subconscious to bring forward whatever it is that it would like to bring forward about this particular scene.
That's why I couldn't see.
Why is that?
The conscious mind kept telling me there was a boat. Find the boat. There's no boat. I'm a whale
Hmm. Oh, you're a whale. So you're in, are you in the water then?
in the water.
You're in the
Huge,
water.
huge
Oh,
waves. Just plowing through the huge waves, under and up again, under and up again.
yeah. I wonder if that sensation is similar to, or if it reminds you of being out in space, just the ebb and flow.
It does, the exhilaration.
Yeah.
And I can see so many stars from here when I pop up.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful.
This is long ago. You know,
Why don't we move to an important day in this lifetime as a whale? Just allowing your subconscious to bring you to whatever they would consider to be an important day in this lifetime as a whale.
there's a new one here, a baby.
Ah,
The sun is sparkling on the water. And we're all laughing. Beautiful sounds.
ah,
Leaping up and diving back down.
right.
Celebrating
Mm-hmm. What is it that you guys are celebrating?
the new whale.
Oh, the new baby. Is the new whale your baby or someone else's?
Hmm. She's full of joy. Hmm. It's a joyful life.
Yeah, sounds very free, peaceful. Is there anything else that feels important or worth mentioning about this scene that you're looking at right now?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. We're going to move on to another important day, whatever your subconscious deems as important, where there's information for you that will help you in the very best way possible. We've now moved on to that important day. What's happening? What do you see?
Hmm. It's not coming clear yet.
That's okay.
There's that stone, something like stone, like marble
Mm-hmm.
on my left. Like
Yeah.
like a pillar and then a low wall. I don't know where I am.
Is it fairly dark, or is there any light that you can detect?
The light is from the stone.
Hmm,
It glows.
yeah.
Where am I?
Can you feel into your physical body, or just look down to understand what kind of a body you have in this lifetime?
I can't see anything anymore.
Yeah. Does it feel like you're still in that same space, or have you
No.
moved on?
No. Conscious mind keeps crying out, Horus, where are you?
Hmm. Well, why don't we take a minute? We can drift and float away from that scene, drifting and floating away. I imagine that because you're thinking about Horus, he's probably here wanting to come in. Maybe he has a message or some insight for you. So why don't we allow for the energy of Horus to come in and ask what messages, what information he has for you today.
I can't get my mind to let go.
It's not always necessary for our conscious mind to completely recede. It can be tricky because it likes to interfere, but you can picture your conscious mind as the adult version of you. Maybe picture it in another chair, sitting down in the same room that you're already in. You can picture the adult version of you sitting in a chair in the same room that you're in. And it's just watching you. This adult conscious version of you is there, quiet and peaceful, taking it all in. They're cozy too, relaxed. Maybe they have a blanket or a warm, puffy, cozy sweatshirt that they're wrapped up in. super cozy, comfortable, feeling safe. And they're just gonna watch conscious mind. That adult version of you is there, but they're observing and watching. You can think of the version of you that's talking and speaking today to be your inner child, whatever age you imagine. When you think of your inner child, picturing yourself as that age now, being down there on this call, doing this session. And it's an energy of allowance, flow. That inner child version of you that's doing the talking, that's in control, is just allowing whatever the first thing is that comes to mind when they've been asked a question. They trust it and they let it flow. They allow that answer to come without judgment. They repeat it. And so now that we've gotten your conscious mind feeling safe and comfortable, warm and cozy with you in that same room, just observing, listening to this story that your inner child is going to tell. Why don't we turn it over to that subconscious, innocent, joyful, inner child part of you who speaks directly from your subconscious. They tap right in to that creation source energy and they just allow it to flow. So much love, so much gratitude, so much allowance. And so now that your inner child, your subconscious mind is relaxed and taking charge, why don't you either think in your head or say out loud to Horus to let you know whatever messages or advice he has for you today. You can either say it out loud or think it in your head, and whatever the first thing is that comes through, trust that answer.
Horus says, he's my brother. The nebula I saw. We all spend eons there
Yeah.
together. Watching, just enjoying being light.
Right.
He says we've walked the earth together too. He's scolding me for resisting, saying that we walked together in Egypt in ancient times.
What is it that he's scolding you for now?
Because I keep saying that can't be true.
Mm. Yeah.
That's too silly. It's too obvious.
Right. What does Horus want you to know about your journey right now?
He says, I already told you we're always together. I'm always with you. You're not alone.
Yeah.
I tell him back. If you think it's so easy, you come down here and do
Amen.
it.
What does Horus have to say about that?
He admits it may be harder than he's thinking, than he remembers.
Yeah.
He's in the nebula now. We will be together again. After this.
Is
This
there
is a
any?
hard one.
Yeah, this is a hard lifetime.
Yes,
Yeah.
this
What
was a
is
hard one.
what does Horus say is your purpose and your intention for being here in this lifetime?
He says, you've been told, just hold the light.
Yeah.
You're doing it okay. You're doing all right. You're
Yeah.
doing great. Just keep holding the light. It matters. It helps.
Right.
Those who come in contact with the light are drawn to God and healed a little bit each time they come near.
And is that what Jan is doing in this lifetime? Helping others to find God and to get healing?
Yes. Hmm.
And that's something that she does effortlessly. She doesn't have to go out and try or facilitate that in any way, right? She just does it.
It's true. Those who are meant to cross her path. She's thinking now of someone who crossed her path not too long ago. It makes her so sad when people come close to the light, and it seems almost as though they've never been near that kind of light before. Love is strange to them. They don't understand. The one she's thinking of asked her so many times, why do you do this? Why would you help me? All she can think to say is, why wouldn't I?
Right.
It makes her so sad that someone really doesn't understand. That someone's never experienced that kind of simple love. It's been this way. It's been like that in this life a lot, right from the start.
In what way? In the way that she was holding the light and drawing in those who needed healing?
It seems so strange to other people that it's like they don't understand kindness. They, they don't understand gentleness. This is a hard place to be. But she has made a difference. She has to know that. I'm showing her, even her mother in this life has learned some kindness. When she forgave her mother, that was a great gift to her. She must remember when a little light seeps into a dark space, the whole dark is transformed, even if it's barely visible to some eyes. All are enlightened, just a little.
Why is it that Jan was adopted rather than just being born into her family?
She needed to be alone, to be separate in some ways. Not to stay free from karma and to look within rather than simply learning what is being taught here and accepting it as money do.
Right.
She had to stay free of that. She had to, oh, it seemed a hard way to learn sometimes, but to learn from within whatever she experienced, to hear the still quiet voice of spirit through the din, the noise.
That
She was
makes
once
sense.
told to think of her birth mother as like a train that she once rode from one place to another. Nothing more, just a means to get here. Meeting her was a gift. Sharon, the birth mother, needed to feel forgiven, although there was nothing to forgive. Jan gave her that. With Sharon, this was an example of something that has happened to Jan many times in life too. With someone who is lost in the dark encounters the light, the gentle light that Jan carries. Oh, she wanted to cling to her. She wanted to cling. But as Jan finally told her, this has been a gift, but we have been to each other what we were meant to be in this life. Jan needs to know Sharon did finally accept the peace that Jan gave her and let it go.
Good.
Jan doesn't know the impact she's had on many people, even though she's only encountered briefly. Her light, because she remained mostly alone and sought answers from within, has remained innocent. And yet, the hard, dark times she lived through, that she found her way out of, have taught her great empathy for people in all circumstances. She needs to accept that her purpose here is simple, and she is living it. And she is not alone, although we do accept from her perspective, it does seem so.
But that is by design, her feeling alone. Like you said, that was intentional for her to not be accumulating karma or having her own light diminished or otherwise compromised by the presence of others in her life. So
Yes,
she understood that from a young age, that she was supposed to be alone, and she's mostly accepted it, it seems, right?
yes. She did learn after many repeated mistakes that being around people under certain circumstances, in certain types of relationships, that she felt compelled to hide her light over and over again in her childhood home and as an adult in romantic situations, in close friendships. Her purpose requires her to allow her light to shine. So she had to walk away many times until she could be clear enough, strong enough, as she calls it, shiny enough on the inside, that she won't hide her light anymore when she's around others. And she doesn't now.
And so it sounds like the way that she shares her light with others is just in almost in passing. It's just not in the context of a long-term, very close-knit relationship or friendship.
You understand exactly.
Yeah.
She's often had to, as I said, walk away. But she's always, mostly always, left others with a little bit more light than they had before. Be clear, her light is never diminished in this way.
Right.
As light spreads, it is not diminished.
Right. That makes sense.
She just recalled a childhood memory from second grade. She says sometimes she felt foolish bringing the light, as I call it,
Right.
in this one situation, sitting in her little desk with her one pencil, writing on her piece of paper, and the little girl next to her, Leanne Peterson, whispered, "Do you have a pencil? I don't have a pencil." And without even thinking, Jan gave her pencil, her only pencil. And without regret, just sat there looking ahead. A few moments later, Leanne noticed and scoffed and mocked her. "You gave me your only pencil?" Jan just shrugged. "You needed it. You needed a pencil. I'm fine." But in many situations like this, when she looks back, she has felt foolish. Her light and love is so innocent.
She was
Many others
just,
don't
oh, go ahead.
understand it.
And she was just following her guidance. She's here to spread light and hold the light, and that's how she could do it in that moment. So she did. She
Yeah.
doesn't have a pencil now. Who cares? Does it matter?
Who
No.
cares?
Yeah. But it brought light to Leanne, didn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, and though she scoffed at the moment, the memory of that light, that that innocent generosity
Yeah.
affected her
Yeah.
just a little bit,
Right.
flavored the rest of her life.
I bet. Yeah. I bet she can still remember that to this day too, just like Jan does.
If Jan will just embrace the innocent, pure nature of her
Yeah.
love and light, and here now we can answer one of her other questions. Her
Yeah.
contract with Misa.
Yes. That would be lovely.
That dear sweet little creature had known some love, but had also been through some very dark times. It was
Yeah.
hard. And physically, she had problems. It was hard for her. Her contract was that in these last 2 years of her life, she would just bask in that light, in that love. And Jan knows at the end, towards the end, those hours just standing, holding Misa in her arms with the shower running so the poor baby could breathe better.
Yeah.
Many, many hours spent that way, all night, all day, over and over again. Jan was so brokenhearted that there was nothing more she could do. She needs to know with those hours, Misa experienced total, pure, unconditional love. And she took that with her to the other side. And her spirit has advanced from that.
Yeah.
Princess was an agreed upon signal, shall we say.
Yeah.
It was hard for Misa to be alive with her breathing problems and a broken body. And yet she was able to enjoy those last 2 years. But she did deserve to go to her rest.
Yeah.
And Jan calling her princess for the first time was Jan completely opening up her heart to Misa, not holding back anything anymore.
Right.
And yes, Jan is right. That was her signal that she could begin to let go.
Right.
And she was grateful.
Yeah. What is Misa's soul doing now?
I'm sorry, did you ask a question? Jan's funky ears didn't hear very well.
I was wondering what Misa's soul is doing now.
Well, when she first crossed, she frolicked.
Yeah.
Jan knows Misa came back and visited several times for the first couple of months.
Yeah.
She did, it's true, hear her single, unique bark that she used to try to get attention with.
Yeah.
A way of saying hello.
Right.
In the first hour after she left, Misa did dance and play with Alice. It's true, Jan saw it
Yeah.
and laughed with delight. That is what she saw. She should know that. It wasn't just Alice, as she saw it, celebrating that the dog was finally gone.
Right.
They were playing, dancing, in a sense.
Right.
And now Misa has mm, with some pride and joy reviewed her life and understood what a beautiful creature she was and the delight she brought to everyone who saw her.
Yeah.
And she eagerly is planning her next trip.
That's perfect.
Which will be an easier one for her this time.
Yeah. Good.
Jan can be assured she will not need to come back to Earth after this life.
This is her last lifetime on Earth.
It's time to move on. She may return to us for a while and rest, but she will surely have more adventures elsewhere.
Yeah. What about a contract with Alice? Does Jan have a contract at all with Alice?
Yes, and in her heart, she knew that first moment when they got into the little room where
Yeah.
animals and humans would get to know each other to see if they were a match.
Mm-hmm.
That poor little dear. Alice ran to the door and clawed at it. She was so terrified.
Yeah.
Jan picked her up, took her to the bench, and tucked her in between her arm and her hip and just held her. And knowing, sensing Alice's fear, feeling her shaking, Jan knew in that instant she could help.
Right.
She understood exactly where Alice was and what she needed. Jan is piping up here. Alice chose her own name, you know. And she's very proud of that fact because many times with many cats, Jan waited for the cat to tell her their name, and none of
Right.
them ever did.
Right.
She fully expected it. And then Alice came, and Alice told her name.
Yeah. Beautiful.
In their contract, Jan taught Alice what she taught herself growing up, what she taught herself after trying to repeat the mistakes of other lives and escape the
Right.
hardness of this life for 10 years.
Yeah.
After coming out of that darkness and into the light, Jan, as I have said before, reached deep inside and listened for the small, quiet voice of spirit and learned day by day by day how to find her strength and calm and peace.
Right.
And she walked Alice through those same steps. And Alice is healed.
Yeah.
She's experiencing a life, like Jan once said, that I never imagined I could have.
Right.
They've been like sisters, Jan and Alice.
Yeah.
Jan shares her light with animals as well as with people because she recognizes the soul in them,
Yeah.
as she recognizes the soul in trees, in birds, in fish, in all living things, in
Right.
rocks. She came into this life with that knowledge, with that certainty. And as happens with so many in this hard life, we will say the customs and the knowledge here, in a sense, seem to try to beat that knowledge out of her.
Right.
But she didn't forget and she didn't lose it. Spending a lot of time alone was necessary to avoid that training. And later, to peel off layer by layer training that had managed to stick to her.
Right.
This she has done.
What are some of the pieces of this training that people carry around unknowingly from the society that we live in?
Yes, exactly.
What were the pieces that Jan still had to work her way through? The ones that stuck?
Jan had been told since she was born, that she wasn't good enough, that absurdly enough, that she was selfish,
Right.
that she felt she was superior, which was absurd because
Right.
she felt certainly that she was nothing.
Right.
Jan was taught and believed that she had to be a certain type of female,
Right.
certain gender traits
Right.
that in her time and place were not just expected, but demanded.
Right.
She had to peel these off
Mm-hmm.
to be a whole, so we say, to reveal a whole soul
Right.
instead of just the parts of a soul allowed to peek through all the coverings.
Right.
She had to learn that it doesn't matter that others don't understand her.
Right.
Very few do. Those who do, she feels, are a great gift. They are.
Yeah. Yeah.
There have been enough of those people to keep her going at times when things seem too hard.
Yeah. Good.
Gloria, who saw her light when she was a child and befriended her.
Right.
People in theater, in the plays that she enjoyed participating in, saw her light
Yeah.
and liked her for it. And there have been the few, one in childhood and a handful in adulthood, who understood her more. Humans call it psychic, that's silly,
Mm-hmm.
but just that she was somewhat more open to the promptings of spirit
Right.
and to sensing and understanding things that are happening. How do we say this? From your perspective, it seems as though things that she can see, things that are around the corner, not to happen yet, but all things are at once.
Right.
Time is an illusion,
Right.
but she has the ability to, in a sense, like on a radio, turn a dial to focus on a frequency from here or there, to switch her focus from what you perceive as now to get a glimpse of what you perceive as then.
Right. Is there anything for her to be doing with that gift that she has, her ability to apparently tell the future, or should she just let it be, let it exist?
Knowing the future has only ever been a gift for her. it has served to remind her, in spite of what this life seems, that there is so much more. She has experienced it, so she can't deny it, even if others do.
Right.
Seeing the future has on occasion allowed her to prepare emotionally, sometimes in tangible ways. For example, when she tuned in several months before COVID
Yeah.
and bought cases of masks and gloves and shared them with friends. Those glimpses sometimes she gets are of things that have a loud vibration, we will say,
Yeah.
a loud vibration. And she has used that gift appropriately
Yeah.
to help herself and her friends to more easily navigate through things that they will experience.
Right.
And as I said before, also these are mileposts to remind her what her journey is,
Yeah.
that it is, she is to be listening to the voice of spirit rather than the voice of doom that
Right.
is out there.
Yep. Okay. Where is it that she should put her focus right now in order to align herself to her highest timeline and just for the highest good of humanity and her friends and family?
She knows. She knows. She's been saying it, thinking it, writing it. Don't know why she doesn't accept that that is all it is. She recently made her password out of it.
Oh.
She knows she needs to meditate, something she never needed to do because of her clear, pure, innocent
Yeah.
light. But
Mhm.
now is time to meditate, to quiet the outer noise and the
Yeah.
chatter of mind so that
Right.
she can hear us better,
Right.
because she can hear that voice of spirit much more clearly.
Yeah.
It is necessary with the times to come, with the things
Yeah.
about to come.
Mm.
And she has already begun to take care of her body. We've been
Yeah.
helping. She has asked us for help, and we have responded. Her cravings for sugar have already begun to decrease. She's eating a little better. She's even lost a little weight.
Yeah.
She finds that she no longer craves like she did. She can trust that this will continue.
Yeah. Good.
What she should be focusing on for her higher good, for the highest good of all. When she meditates, she will hear, sense, know when there is something for her to do and when there is not.
Yeah.
And also, meditation will allow her to replenish. This she has not thought of yet.
Yeah.
Meditation will allow more light and energy to flow into her. And she needs this. It's been a
Yeah.
long, hard journey, and She has been very, very tired.
Yeah.
We understand this. She jokes if we think it's so easy, we should come down there and do it. She's not wrong. We know it's hard.
It is. It's very hard, but I guess this is what she chose. This is what we all chose. So
Yeah,
we
we
are
acknowledge
capable.
that she's done hard work here.
Yeah.
Others who hear her story now, some who have similar backgrounds or
Mhm.
addictions or
Yes.
darkness, are inspired
Yeah.
because although she fully admits how hard it was and how hard she worked, when she tells her story, people see it as something they could actually do.
Right.
So the journey she has taken so far, as well as just her innate light, do serve to enlighten this world.
Right.
She needs to remember an image that she has thought of before in other circumstances. That if you drop a tiny pebble into a pond, the ripples, the vibrations change the entire pond.
Right.
She doesn't need to get a bucket and empty the pond and fix
Right.
something down there.
Right.
She just needs to dip her toe in once in a while.
Yep.
Mm. They are proud of her. I speak for all of what she called the nebula when
Yeah.
I say we.
Yeah.
We are all brothers here,
Yeah.
sisters.
Has she incarnated in places other than
Yes, she
as
has.
light in the nebula and on Earth? Where else has she incarnated?
She has incarnated other places. It's not important for her to know now.
Okay.
Although, if she meditates, she may get glimpses of these lifetimes.
Yeah. I wondered if, since she had a lifetime as a whale here, has she ever been on Sirius?
Yes,
Yeah. Was the whale lifetime connected at all to her lifetime or to her energy on Sirius?
yes,
Yeah, my understanding is that sometimes beings, the energy, the consciousness of Sirius will incarnate on Earth, often as dolphins or whales, because they're able to hold a very high frequency or vibration for Earth, and they can do it somewhat undisturbed in the ocean. I mean, humans, nowhere is safe from the predator of the human, but
very
I,
good. That is
yeah,
very
go ahead.
good. Yes, that is what she saw in that lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
All she could tell you about was the joy and
Right.
the delight
Yeah. Yeah.
and
And
the
so,
looking at the stars and the
yeah.
sunlight on the water and
Yeah.
rejoicing.
And is that largely what whales and dolphins and the consciousness of Sirius, is that pretty much what it comes here to do, is to just be joy and grateful from the ocean?
That is exactly right. And that
Hmm.
is what she brings into this lifetime as well.
Right.
That is a good connection.
Yeah.
Just to be, to hold the
Yeah.
light is to also hold the joy.
Right.
When
Yeah.
she goes out into the world now and then, what she experiences herself, and as she describes it, is sheer delight.
Yeah.
She laughs at the sight of a bird hopping. or at the sound of a bird chirping now that she can hear them.
Yes, right.
She laughs with delight at the squirrels playing, at the fish blowing bubbles when
Right.
she feeds them bread at the lake.
Yeah.
She laughs with delight when she saw Misa looking at the moon or watching the sunset
Right.
the day before she left here.
Right.
She laughs. She even laughs with delight at a bug, a box elder bug, migrating from one part of the city to another to her
Right.
neighborhood on
Right.
her windshield. She laughs with
Right.
delight the entire way.
Oh,
That is her true nature
yeah.
and a gift she brings wherever she goes. She laughs with delight when others are numb, blind, deaf. She has never understood this,
Right.
but Earth is a heavy place.
Yeah.
That's why to just be here is a help.
Right.
She couldn't, she wonders what more she could do, but she must consider. She couldn't go out there and physically lift the energy.
Right.
Nobody could. All those who come to help and all those who have evolved to the point where they can help here on Earth just need to dip their toe in their little corner of the pond from time to
Right.
time.
Yeah.
And the vibrations travel throughout the entire world.
Right.
As we said before, bring a tiny bit of light into a dark room.
Right.
All the dark is lightened.
Right. It's no longer dark.
And so the things that she has been through, learned, taught herself, peeled off to go from the dark, squashed little thing she once was
Right.
to a being who can share her light and joy anytime, anywhere. Having done that brings that ability, that knowledge, that alchemy, for that is what she is truly, an alchemist. It brings
Right.
that alchemy to all. It is added to the collective consciousness of all.
Right. Hmm. What can you tell her about the night when she was 11, when she tried to kill herself? Were those pills enough to have killed her, or were they harmless? What happened?
Jan doesn't really want to know this.
Oh,
I think we will speak no more.
okay.
Just to say, she heard my voice, our voice, the voice of those who love her
Yeah.
in spirit, in light, and a change was made.
Yeah.
A change was made so
Was
that
the Oh, go ahead.
so that this life would not be wasted, and so that this light could be brought here.
And what was that change that was made?
She does not want to know this.
Oh, that's what okay, I understand. Okay. Was any of that happened that night related to the prayer that she said to Jesus before she took the pills?
Could you repeat that, please?
I'm just
Or
wondering
you-
if the events of that night were at all related to the prayer that she had said to Jesus right before she took the pills.
I don't understand your question. Please restate.
I was wondering if when she prayed to Jesus that night right before she took the pills, is the way that everything turned out, was that essentially an answer to her prayer? Like, did Jesus truly hear her and help?
When she prayed to Jesus, she was praying to Christ consciousness. And many have evolved to that state. And many have never left the light and so are there. So her prayer was heard. Her prayer was heard by those who love her. And it called our attention to the tragedy that was about to unfold. So yes, her prayer was answered.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anything that Jan needs to know moving forward about her health? I know that you've spoken on her diet and her eating, and that should be improving or easier for her to manage. Is there anything that she needs to know about her health, perhaps her diabetes or her allergies?
Meditation and an improved diet will lead to other changes that will help all of these conditions,
Okay.
including, as she says, the losing of her words.
Yeah.
That is simply lack of nutrition, too much inflammation,
Oh.
and decreased blood flow because this winter she sat on her butt 24/7.
Yeah. Okay.
She gets so tired.
Yeah.
She really wore herself out this life.
Yeah.
Meditation will bring more energy.
Okay. Okay. And that will help with the sleep apnea as well.
Yes, sleep apnea, as she said, is a combination of the weight and the allergies, the inflammation,
Oh, is
all
that
these things.
okay?
As all these things improve, one day she will be able to, as she said, take a nap on the couch.
Right. Okay. What about that one time she woke up and there was that swirling color show? She felt really like she was working really hard at something. And then she heard the voice that said, the phosphines will burn off in just a minute. What was all that about?
Jan worked hard in her sleep. Sometimes she's aware of it and sometimes not. She was receiving what she would call a download of coded information, coded in light, that will be available when it is needed, when the time is right.
Yeah.
It will, as she says, just drop into her head. This is what happens sometimes when she has seen the future
Right.
or known a thing that is at a distance that she could not know. As she sees it, it drops into her head like a download.
Right.
These things are downloaded while she sleeps. Much is much is downloaded while she sleeps.
Right.
Much of the innate knowledge that got her from where she was to where she is now, which to some others who have been in her shoes or similar shoes would consider a miracle.
Right.
Much of that knowledge was downloaded to her while she slept. Or another way to put it is she sometimes attends school while she is sleeping,
Right.
studying hard. Her spirit is of a nature that has great curiosity and wants to learn everything. Through many times in her life, she has not been learning much of anything here in this life.
Right.
So she studies hard in her sleep.
Mm. What does she do with the information that she learns in her sleep?
This is where her magic comes from. This is how she is able to be, as we said, an alchemist,
Ah,
to transform dark into light, to transform low vibration emotions into higher vibration understanding. She has been an alchemist all her life. And the things she needs to know to do these magical seeming spurts of growth often come from knowledge that she's not even consciously aware of in this life.
right.
She just gets the sense, I should think about this, or I should do that. And she does, and the magic follows.
Okay. What about the 3 dreams that she had with the souls that seemed stuck in regret? Were those, what was the deal with those?
That was a type of school. The first dream that she had, call it a dream, let me say, these things, these were events played out on the astral. The first one, she came to a place that, if she thinks about it, was sort of like a school. She thought of it like a storefront. It was a place where many, as she saw them, many people were in beds, almost like a hospital or something. And she was drawn to one who then showed her his regret. She was learning through this experience with a soul who had this true regret. It was an agreement between them. She did help him to heal. He had experienced feeling he was part of a murder. He was not. But as part of the bank robbery, a man was killed and he felt responsible. This was, he felt a stain on his soul. They both needed to learn. He needed to learn to forgive himself. And she, with her innocent light, needed to learn how to forgive, which she has since been applying in her life. Her mother, her uncle, and others. When she observed his experience and loved him through it and after. He learned to forgive himself and was freed of this stain on his soul.
Right.
And she learned to forgive
Yeah.
a little bit more,
Right.
easier than learning to forgive here in this heavy density
Oh, right.
where one has done you wrong and the hurt has caused damage that you still experience.
Yeah.
Forgiveness is hard,
Yeah.
but it is a necessary miracle. And so she attended these classes. She had agreements with these souls. The second she felt she was traveling like in a car through the dark. This was on the spirit plane to a place in the 1930s where a woman who had turned away her pregnant teenage niece, the niece and mother, had both ended up killing themselves. And the woman, the soul, regretted this very much and needed to forgive herself to move on. Again, Jan saw the entirety of the experience. She saw the place where the daughter had drowned herself and later the mother. She sat with the woman in a room, in a construct like where she had lived in that life, where she mourned and chewed at the ragged ends of her soul. Jan listened and watched and observed with no judgment, with only love. And the woman was able to forgive herself. And again, Jan learned to forgive something not like, but in some ways akin to that which she needed to forgive in her own life, where family had been cold and unkind and selfish to someone who needed them. It was easier for her to forgive this woman than to forgive her own mother. And then the third, again, a similar situation. She watched and observed while a man who committed murders for money learned to regret and wanted to stop and did before he died. But in spirit, his regret was heavy upon him. He was in a healing place. He and Jan met. She loved him. He forgave himself. And she saw him this time, saw his soul lighten up and fly off free. She got to see the result of it this time instead of just fading to black like a dream.
Yeah.
And after these three events, she was able to forgive her mother.
Yeah.
And now, sometime later, she is beginning to forgive her uncle. That was harder,
Yeah.
but she knows it is a necessary miracle and necessary if she is not to carry karma and become stuck here.
Yeah.
She is forgiving him, practices it each day. She
Right.
should continue this.
Yeah.
She is surprised. It had not occurred to her that these events were classes where she learned to forgive.
It's beautiful. What a great way for us to be able to understand the energy of something like forgiveness in an environment that is where we're a little bit more open to receiving that energy because it's not as dense as the 3D physical earth world. That makes sense.
Exactly. There are many There are many marvelous opportunities in spirit that people partake of while they're incarnated here, that they partake of in their sleep, that would amaze and delight you.
Yeah. It's amazing.
This is one example.
Yeah.
Not only, as you said, easier to experience the energy and in a place of higher vibration,
Yeah.
but able to experience it without the deep connections that entwine people here
Yeah.
in this density. The
Right.
deep connections between family and friends and between perpetrators and victims, for example.
Yeah.
To be able to practice this energy, this miracle, without those ties, sort of in a free space, without
Mhm.
without so much at stake,
Yeah.
without so much baggage.
Yeah. A little bit more of a clean slate, I suppose.
Yes, and we would also like to speak more of forgiveness.
Yeah.
Janice read a little of it in The Law of One. It, as she says, she would read a paragraph or two and then have to stop for 6 months to think about it.
Right.
She never got farther than chapter 3
Yeah.
because forgiveness was very difficult. It is imperative that people learn forgiveness here. For as it says in The Law of One, forgiveness is a miracle. It frees both parties of karma.
Right. Oh, yeah.
As she forgives her uncle, even without facing him and telling him so, they are both freed of the karma of the incidents in her childhood.
Right.
Incidents which she must know plague him as much as they did her.
Right.
What he did weighs heavy on his soul.
Right.
And her forgiveness will free him of that. And now she can see, when she looks at those 3 experiences she had in the spirit realm, think of watching a man who had judged himself as a murderer, watching him be forgiven and float off into the sky in joy. That is the kind of miracle you can offer when you forgive. It is another form of alchemy that I've spoken of. Forgiveness transforms the energy from dark and heavy, sad and pitiful and angry, to freedom and joy and light.
Is there anything else that she needs to know at this time as far as karma and forgiveness and unconditional love?
We wish to speak once more on meditation, for she resists. She thinks it is hard. She doesn't truly understand deeply what point there is in meditation. So we wish to just talk a little bit more about that. Meditation seems hard because the mind never shuts up, never shuts up. And she has based some of her personality here in this life on that quick, chattery mind. It's hard to just let it be But if she will just sit, she doesn't need to quiet her mind. Just not follow each thought down a rabbit hole, as she calls it. Just keep coming back to something to focus on. Focusing on breath does not seem to be working for her. We will suggest perhaps she can focus on that point of light she sees in the distance with her third eye. That she sees it now. Not a point, but a haze of light she sees in the distance. Just focus on that. Give it a try. And the benefits will become obvious as she can hear us better. She was once told there would come a time when she would be channeling. That's in essence what she is doing right now. With your help, thank you.
Oh, sure.
With meditation, she will over time be able to hear us. And in a sense, that will be like channeling. We will be able to speak more clearly to her rather than simply downloading codes in her sleep. She should know she can do this. She is prepared for it. She actually has a nature that is inclined toward it. She just has spent so much of this lifetime escaping pain and sorrow. That's not necessary anymore. I want her to hear this. That's not necessary anymore. All those little addictions you still cling to. The TV, movies, food, all these things that distract you. You're distracting yourself from shadows now. Not even shadows. Your light has chased them away. It's not even, as we used to say, demons that you've got down by the neck. All that is wiped clean now. No more pain and fear and darkness. Just delight and peace. So meditation is safe now. You can do it. Thank you for allowing us this time to speak.
Oh, it's been my pleasure to listen. Thank you so much for stepping forward for Jan today. Is there anything else that you'd like for Jan to know or to keep in mind?
No, just remember, all you need to do is hold the light. Just be the light. Enjoy those moments of delight that are all around you. Step out, dip your toe in the pond when the spirit moves you.
Right.
And it's okay to continue to rest. This has been a hard one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask the subconscious to recede back to where it belongs now, with much love and many thanks for all of the help and information that you've been bringing forward for Jan today. I know that she really appreciates it. We're going to bring your light body back to your physical body now. Just bringing your energy back to your physical form.